You. Yes, you. The one listening right now. I see your soul. I see the battle you've been quietly fighting behind the smile. I see the way you've been holding it all together when no one else noticed it was falling apart. But hear me now, this is not the end of your story. I am Archangel Michael, warrior of light, protector of hearts, defender of truth, and I have been sent to remind you, you were made for this moment. You are not here by accident. Every breath in your lungs, every beat of your heart, it means purpose still lives within you. You're not broken beyond repair. You're not too far gone. You're not behind. You are becoming. And that process? It's sacred. I've watched you walk through fire that others wouldn't have survived. I've seen you cry prayers into your pillow, prayers you thought heaven didn't hear. But we did. Every word. Every tear. And while it may feel like silence is the only response you've received, I promise you, the silence was never absence. It was strategy. Heaven has been moving behind the curtain of time, aligning what your eyes cannot yet see. But now, it's time to rise. Not because you feel strong, not because it's easy, but because you were never meant to stay in the valley. You were born to climb, to roar, to conquer. I'm not speaking to your feelings. I'm speaking to your spirit. And your spirit knows what it means to rise when the world says you should fall. To keep standing even when your legs shake. To keep believing when your heart has been bruised by disappointment. Listen carefully. The weapons that formed against you may have been fierce, but they failed. You are still here, still breathing, still capable of light. And that alone is proof you are dangerous to darkness. Every setback, it was training. Every betrayal, it was redirection. Every delay, it was preparation. Heaven was not punishing you. It was preserving you, shielding you from lesser battles so you'd have the strength to win this war. Yes, this war. The one you're in right now. The one that makes you question if you're good enough, strong enough, chosen enough. But let me tell you something you've forgotten. You were anointed for this. Before you were formed in your mother's womb, your name was known in heaven. Your story was written with victory in mind. You carry a fire the enemy can't extinguish. You carry a calling hell can't cancel. But now you must choose. Will you believe the lies whispered in the dark? Or will you believe the truth carved into your soul? You are not alone. I stand beside you. Sword drawn. Armor shining. I have battled beside you when you didn't even know I was there. You felt courage in moments you didn't think you had any left? That was me. You found strength when you wanted to give up? That was me. You heard a whisper to keep going, even when life tried to silence you? That was me. And I'm here again, to say, stand up. Even if your knees tremble. Even if your voice shakes. Stand. And speak. And walk in the authority you've been given. The world needs what you carry. There are lives tied to your obedience. There are battles only you can win, because only you were assigned to them. Stop comparing your process to others. Stop measuring your worth by likes, followers, or timelines. You were never called to be popular. You were called to be powerful. And your power doesn't come from this world. It comes from the throne. It comes from the God who breathes galaxies into existence and still calls you by name. You may feel small, but in the spirit you are mighty. You are a warrior. You are royalty. And nothing can stop the rise of a soul who remembers who they are. So take your place. Pick up your sword, not a weapon of revenge, but of truth. Walk into the fire, not to be burned, but to refine the gold in you. And if the path ahead looks impossible, good. Because your destiny was never supposed to make sense to people who don't carry your anointing. You were chosen for such a time as this. So rise. Rise, even if your voice is still shaking. Rise, even if no one claps. Rise, even if the scars still ache. Rise, not because you're unbroken, but because you are healing. Because you are needed. Because you were never fighting alone. And know this: I am here. Always. Shielding you. Fighting for you. Walking beside you in the shadows and the sunlight. And heaven is not intimidated by your struggle. Heaven is invested in your victory. So go. Shine. Shake the dust off your dreams. And walk boldly into the life you were born to live. You think it's too late. That you've missed your moment. That somehow everyone else moved ahead while you were stuck. But listen closely now, heaven does not operate on man's schedule. There are no missed chances in the divine timeline. Only divine timing. What you call delay, I call design. What you call rejection, I call redirection. You weren't being left behind. You were being led deeper. Because you were never meant to run in someone else's lane. You were never meant to wear someone else's armor. You were made to rise in your own rhythm. Walk in your own authority. Fight with your own fire. And though the waiting has made you weary, though the silence has made you question your worth, I need you to understand something right now. Delay does not mean denial. And what has been held back is now being released. The shift is here. Do you feel it? The turning of the tide? The stirring in your spirit that says, I can't stay in this place anymore? That is not imagination. That is awakening. You are awakening to your purpose, to your power, to your identity. You are not who you were a year ago. You are not defined by who walked away, what fell apart, or what you lost. The ashes do not define you, the rising does. And I am here, sword still drawn, wings wide, voice like thunder when needed, but now, speaking gently. To say, don't shrink. The world taught you to hide. To silence your brilliance. To apologize for your strength. But I say, no more. You don't need to fit in because you were created to stand out. You don't need to please them because you were anointed to please Him. You don't need to keep playing small to make others comfortable. Your light will convict the comfortable. Your growth will expose the stagnant. Your elevation will disturb the systems designed to keep you quiet. Let it. You were never meant to blend in. You were sent here to break chains, to interrupt cycles, to raise the standard, to carry divine authority into dark places and declare, light lives here now. And I know it feels heavy, carrying a call when others carry convenience, waking up with purpose when others live on autopilot. But you weren't built for average. You were built for glory. So do not fear the weight you carry, it is the evidence of the legacy you're birthing. Do not fear being misunderstood, prophets always are. Do not fear walking alone for a season, it prepares you to lead multitudes later. And know this: when it gets loud, return to the secret place. When it gets dark, return to the light within. And when you feel you can't go on, call. I will come. Not always with a shout, but sometimes with a whisper. Not always with a sword, but often with a shield. Not always to change the battle, but always to remind you, you are not alone in it. Heaven has assigned reinforcements. I am one of them. And I speak now to the warrior within you, the child who dared to dream, the leader who felt forgotten, the soul that still believes there's more. You are seen. You are supported. You are surrounded by light. So walk forward now, even if the road is new, even if it doesn't look like what you imagined, even if your hands still tremble from what you've survived. Walk forward not with fear, but with fire, because what's ahead of you is greater than what's behind, because you are entering into what was promised, because you were made not just to fight, but to win. This is your time. The enemy tried to silence you, delay you, destroy you. But heaven has issued the final word. Rise. And I, Archangel Michael, will walk with you, war with you, and war for you, until you see with your own eyes what your spirit has known all along. You were never alone. You were always destined to rise. Let me remind you of something heaven has never forgotten. You are not just a survivor. You are not just someone trying to make it. You are a solution sent to earth in flesh and spirit. A divine strategy wrapped in skin. And it's time you started living like it. The battles you fought weren't just personal. They were generational. You were breaking chains that didn't start with you, but they'll end with you. You are not weak because you feel tired. You are not disqualified because you made mistakes. Your humanity doesn't cancel your calling. If anything, it proves it. Because God didn't choose you in spite of your weakness, He chose you through it. He knew the cracks in your armor, and He still handed you the sword. Why? Because what you carry isn't your own strength. It's His power flowing through you. And I know. You've questioned why it had to be so hard. Why your journey hasn't looked like theirs. Why the pressure has felt relentless. Here's why. Because the higher the calling, the deeper the crushing. And you, beloved, carry a high calling. You've been trusted with weight. You've been trusted with authority. You've been trusted to stand when others would run. And no, you're not perfect. But obedience was never about perfection. It was always about surrender. So today, I'm calling you back. Back to the fire. Back to the fight. Back to the throne room. Back to the original yes you whispered when no one else was listening. The enemy wants you quiet. He wants you distracted. He wants you numbed out by comparison and doubt. But I've come to shake you awake. There is still breath in your lungs for a reason. There is still time on the clock for a purpose. And I speak now to every buried gift, every silenced vision, every abandoned dream. Come forth. Rise. Move again. Burn again. Believe again. You have no idea how many lives are waiting on the sound of your obedience. The fire in your voice. The healing in your presence. The shift that happens when you enter the room. You are not random. You are not overlooked. You are marked. You are appointed. And you are equipped. Heaven never asks for perfection, only permission. So today, give it. Give heaven your yes. Not the safe one. Not the halfway one. The full, burning, raw yes that says, even if it costs me everything, I will still follow. Because on the other side of that yes is glory. On the other side of that yes is transformation. And on the other side of that yes is every answer you've been praying for. You are not forgotten. You are not late. You are right on.